what I know is when you put in positivity, you can then exude positivity and bring and surround yourself and bring opportunities. You can identify opportunities, you can take advantage of them. So what are the things that I know work for me about the input of possibilities? That's what it means, right? By inputting positivity into me. I know the things that work incredibly well for me is having a particular routine every day. You've heard me speak about this many, many times. And it's taken me, I will be hand on heart, hand up. I'm the first person to say that it took me a long time to realize this, how important it is to input the right things within me. And I'm not just talking about the right food and those sort of things. So I had some health challenges earlier this year, and it really threw me on my proverbial ass. And I realized that, you know what, if nothing's going to change, Joanne, nothing is going to change. And so I realized I needed to change some habits significantly. So the things that I've done, and this is just me sharing and being brutally honest, because I know it works, I can see the change and the difference, is the input of the correct food, the input of the right mindset to embrace the change. Now, many of us aren't a fan of change. I know sometimes it's like you're pushing the proverbial uphill, right? But what I know is when you can embrace the change for the right reason, you've really got to dig deep. You know, what are the consequences of why I'm looking to do this thing? I often ask myself when I'm in my decision-making mode, what are the consequences? Because it makes me stop and think and go, okay, it's a bit like a pros and cons thing, but what are the consequences if it goes well? What are the consequences if it doesn't go well? What are the consequences if I hit a barrier? What am I going to be? What are my plan A's and B's going to be? So yeah, I've made some fundamental changes in how I approach every day. My husband and I go for a walk every day, 7 days a week with the dogs. Not a very long walk, but it's at a place that really resets and grounds me, which is, as you've heard me speak many times, it's around the water here on the Gold Coast. I really love it. There's not a lot of conversation between he and I. It's my time to reset and get ready for the day, thinking through what I've got ahead, what goals I want to hit, what things I want to achieve, what things didn't work yesterday and what things did work yesterday. So that is a lovely reset for me. Go grab a cup of coffee, come back, I've done my meditation, and I'm ready for the day. And each morning before I start work, and I generally start about 7 o'clock, is I'm learning. I'm proactively doing things to improve my skill set and fill the gaps that I've identified that I have. I know that sets me up for success for the rest of the day, and then I get into the day's routine. But that's a physical thing. What I also am very aware of, because we can all go down the rabbit hole, you know, of the self-deprecating piece, of not believing that we're good enough, of this imposter syndrome thing. You know, we all can fall over with those thoughts, and if we don't catch them and we don't stop ourselves doing that, we can really go down a really tenuous rabbit hole. We don't want to do that. Now, I'm human. We all have these thoughts at times, but what I know is I need to stop, breathe, and recalibrate and rethink. What are the consequences of me going down there? Is it really going to be as bad as I think it's going to be? Invariably, it's not. So, you know, the things that I know work really well, as I said, is my routine of getting myself set up for the day, eating more healthily, and I've also started, since the beginning of this year, going to gym 3-4 times a day in the afternoon. And there are days that I am taking myself kicking and screaming. I'm not necessarily interested in going. I'm feeling bad about it, don't want to do it, it's going to be hard. But I always know at the end of it, I go, oh, yep, that was hard. I came home very red-faced yesterday. I hadn't been for a week. Last week, had a bit of a neck problem and I couldn't get to gym. And to this yesterday when I went, it felt like the first day back at gym. So I'd let it slip and I'd lost my fitness, and so I need to get back in it. So I'm excited that I'm going again today, and upper body will be all good to go. But you know, I was listening to I was doing my meditation this morning, and I was listening to a fellow called Jay Shetty. If any of you have heard of him, he's a fabulous fellow in the meditation space, and he was talking about giving yourself permission to brag. And it was I went, oh, really? Brag? But he was very careful. He said, you know, it's important that it remains humble. What the bottom of the fundamental of the message was celebrate the wins. I'm a huge advocate of that. And so, through the meditation, it's getting us to think about what are the things that you're proud of. And I thought, you know what, this is a really great practice. And he actually gave us homework and suggested keep a journal of the things that you're proud of, grateful for. We've all heard of the grateful journals and those sort of things, but things that you've done that you're proud of. I'm proud that I've changed the way I approach my health and that I'm feeling better than I've ever done ever before. I'm more fit than I've ever been before. I'm lighter of weight than I've ever been before. I'm proud that I embraced the grey because it was a hard thing. My hairdresser was finding it really difficult to get the colour for me, and I changed to embrace the grey early last year, and that was pretty hard. That was a number of months, for a woman who had been a vibrant red for a very long time. That was a really hard journey, but I'm actually pleased that I did it because I don't need to get a haircut as often. It's easier to manage, all those sort of things. But I was really proud that I actually took the step to embrace it and that I wasn't pushing the rope anymore. And so, I really feel that this message from Jay Shetty this morning that I heard, the willingness to go there to exclaim what you're proud about and start with little things, then start building and building. And how good would it be if you had a circle of people around you that you could say, I'm really proud about this today. Could be a little thing, could be a big thing. And then you start this amazing conversation. And can you imagine how it could escalate? And of course, every time somebody in this passage that I was listening to from Jay, every time someone spoke about something they were proud of, there was applause and celebration. And I think that's the key message, is that we need to be prepared to celebrate our wins. And that, again, is part of the inputting the positivity in ourselves, recognizing that we actually are worthy, that we should be filled full of joy daily. We should be striving to be better, and we should be celebrating all the little and the big and the medium-sized wins and sharing with them whoever we have in our inner circle. And so, the other part about the positivity piece is, who are you surrounding yourself with? And I often speak about this. If there are people, if there's social media channels, if there is information coming at you that doesn't fill you with positivity, I would ask you to consider, what are the consequences of me continuing to absorb that information? So that's pretty much it, what I wanted to talk about today. I feel that I've been rattling on enough. I've been talking about myself personally, but this is about us all being happy within ourselves, because I know when we are happy within ourselves, we can then be prepared. We are then positioned and have the capability, the capacity to provide positivity to our circle. And so I'm going to leave you with that. You have an awesome day, and I'll see you next week. See you for now.